Hello, welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is going to be sharing and just outing myself basically of some of the unhealthy things that I do as a holistic practitioner, a naturopath, a health coach, mindset coach. People put practitioners on a pedestal. They think that we are in perfect health, we've never struggled with anything, we find everything so easy, so effortless, and it's just not the case. I mean, some of the things that I do are second nature now. They do just become habits and part of my lifestyle. So I definitely don't feel like I'm forcing myself to be this healthy person. It really is who I am, who I identify with, and who what I enjoy doing. A lot of it I've had to incorporate into my routine. So, in order to have the change be long term, realistic, and successful for you, it has to be something that you're going to stick with. If you hate eating a certain type of meal, you hate going to the gym and that environment, then unless you really want to work on some subconscious blocks and you can learn to love some things, but maybe it's best for you to try and find something that you can at least bridge the gap with. And once you start feeling the benefits of the healthy eating and the exercise, you might be motivated to go to the gym, but not everyone has to have the same routine and the same type of food plan and workout plan. Everyone is unique, different, has different needs, different health goals. So for me, my life now and my routines now look similar in some ways to the past 10 years, but I've also been able to really relax in a lot of areas as well because my health is now in a really good place and I have put in a lot of reps, so to speak, with my habits. So now I can quote get away with being less strict and I'm not talking that I go off the rails every weekend, but I can eat out a lot more freely than I used to. I've really worked on my mindset surrounding things as well, because if you're unfamiliar with my health journey, there was a time that I was really chronically sick and I had to be strict with my diet and my routines and going to bed by 9 p.m., eating completely strict sugar-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, all the things. And that did serve me for a while. But then I started to develop a lot of fear around food and all of these control issues. And I was just so desperate to heal that I was afraid of seed oils. I was afraid of mold and being in environments that weren't conducive to health. And your environment is important, but it's not always something that you have complete control over. We have to live in the real world. We have to integrate and interact with other people. So if you're at the point that you do have to be a little bit more strict, just understand that this is a season. Maybe there are some things that you can do to loosen up the reins a little bit, but I also understand if that's working for you now and you honestly see a difference and the benefit of doing so. But if you're not really feeling the difference, it might be that letting go of some of that is what you need. It's very individual to the person. So back in the day, I'm talking 5 years ago, 5 to 10 years ago, when things were really bad, I really started to heal in 2020, even though I'd been on my health journey for a good number of years before that. So I would have been early 20s during this time, age 20 to 25, things were pretty dark, and I would make every single meal at home from scratch, knew every ingredient that was going in my body, was super strict with what I was putting on my skin, and it was an important time. It was a lot of learning lessons, and now I can go to a holiday and sit around the pool and eat a gluten-free burger and just chill out, but I'm not doing that every day. I can go out to eat with my family. I don't drink really, so that's something that I just completely let go of because it wasn't serving me, and it's just one thing that is a bit unnecessary in my life. And just with my health history, I've worked so hard on my health now that I don't really want to be actively adding poisons to my body where I can help it. And on the spectrum of things that I could be enjoying, for me right now, something like canola oil, sunflower oil isn't that big of a deal, but things like Botox and alcohol, they're just really not worth it, in my opinion. Not to say that I'll never drink again, I might do. I'm not completely sober, but it's just not worth it for me at the moment. And even with things like sleep, I had to have 10 hours a night minimum back then, whereas now I can get away with less sleep. It's more about the quality of the sleep, but my body also has the reserves now to handle me going out to a party and being out till 2 a.m. I don't love doing that unless it's a really good time and there's some good music on and I'm dancing. I'll do that a few times a year. Most nights I am in bed asleep by 10:30, but it's so freeing to have that flexibility now. That's the point that I want to get to. But I wouldn't have been able to heal, I don't think. I'm never going to know because I didn't do this experiment, but if I would have been on more of that like flexible weekend warrior mentality where you're strict during the week, but then you just don't do any movement and you just eat whatever on the weekend. I don't think that would have worked for me with the types of food sensitivities that I had. It did have to be a bit of all or nothing with things like gluten and refined sugars. And for a while, my mold exposure, I had to be out of the environment for a significant amount of time to let my body calm down. And now I can get away with spending time in a place that has mold because my body is resilient and it can handle it, and my overall toxic load is lower. But beforehand, the constant re-exposure would have set me back a little bit, but that might not be the case for you. So in today's episode, I'm going to be sharing some of the unhealthy things that I do as a very health conscious person. But now you know that I've not always had great health. I have really struggled with chronic fatigue and pain and headaches and migraines and really bad histamine reactions, skin issues, hair loss, period problems, weight gain, all the things. Digestive issues were another bane of my existence for a long, long time. So now I am feeling so good, very grateful every day for my health, but I want you to know that you can also get to this place if you are currently in that strict phase. But also, if you are, working on your health, just know that if you want to, you don't have to. You can remain in this really regimented place if you want to, if that works for you, if you enjoy it. But I also want to be the evidence and the proof and the inspiration that you can still be a very healthy person, but you don't have to be perfect with it. You can have more of an 80-20 mentality if your body is responding okay to that. But I'm also not one of these people and practitioners who are just like, accept your body and just enjoy yourself. You only live once. Just treat your body like trash and it's okay. It's okay to be overweight and eating fast food every day. Definitely not. I want to live a long, healthy, happy life, and just day to day, I want to feel good in my body because I know what it's like to not feel good. So let's get into the episode. This is going to be quite a short one because it's also a very hot day. There's been a heat wave in the UK, and I have to turn my fan off during the recording, otherwise you can't hear me. And I'm not going to last long without my fan or my window open, so we'll not be here for too long. The first one is that generally I'm probably going to give a caveat to each of these as well because I want to give a bit of context. The first one is that sometimes, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, I will still scroll on my phone before I go to bed. I practice what I preach the majority of the time, but I'm also not perfect with it. I talk about the importance of having an evening routine, winding down, getting off technology a couple of hours before bed. I will still every night turn the Wi-Fi off. That is a basic habit now. It's just so easy and very beneficial just not to be bombarded with EMFs and Wi-Fi all throughout the night when I'm trying to sleep. So I am not up super late. It'll be maybe 10-15 minutes before bed. I'm still going to bed on time, but I will scroll on my phone and I'll get sucked into TikTok. It'll start with me going on there to check one of my posts or to just have a little browse for education, inspiration, but then I just get sucked into the For You page and I've realized that I was on the For You page, not just who I'm following. So I've changed that now. I don't really go on the For You page at all because you'll just scroll, 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 and you just end up with so many new ideas and people. And it's just a lot of information. We should not be exposed to that much information on a day-to-day basis. So now I just have my following list. I'll watch a few videos of some of my favorite content creators, and then I will be off my phone. But whilst I'm doing this is one little bridge step. So it's the ideal would be to read a book, and I do that the majority of the time. But if I am on my phone, I will have my red light glasses on, my blue light blocking glasses from Bon Charge. Link in the description. There is a sale for the month of July, if this is out then. 25% off. Really recommend these glasses. Once you've got them, if you look after them, you'll have them for life, and they are really, really effective. Much better than the cheap ones that you can get from Amazon. But I'll at least have those on. And sometimes I go double protection by there's a hack that you can do on iPhone where you triple click the lock button and it completely changes the screen to be red. So I probably can't see what's even on the screen. If it's some fashion video, I can't see what the color of the product is, but just getting the the overview of the post and even just listening to something. Sometimes I'll listen to a podcast before bed. And it's not the best habit. I do notice a difference with my sleep and my recovery on those days. But just being honest, that's my first one. I do have a little TikTok rabbit hole scroll every now and then. Second thing is that sometimes I will tell myself in the morning that I'm going to do something, like I'm going to go to the gym today, or I really need to create a video for TikTok, a reel for Instagram, and I don't do it. This is likely self-sabotage of some kind, and if it was a reoccurring pattern and it was becoming more and more frequent and it was meaning that I wasn't getting done the things that I really need to, I would be more concerned. But this is just me. There's always something to do as a business owner, and there's so many different hats that I wear. I could work every single hour of the day if I wanted to. So this is just extra things that I could do for my business that I will tell myself I do, or even with the gym, I don't necessarily need to go to the gym that day, but I would like to, and then I just either do something else or I'll just do something at home, a quick stretch, or I go for a walk. I'm active every day, but there's some days that I just don't feel like going to the gym and I don't, and then I kind of regret it later on because and I just had a moment where I just wanted some quiet time and to chill, and then later in the day my energy's back and I wish I would have worked out. But the procrastination side of things, can't speak. Um, there's always something under that, and it might have just been that I tried to do too much that day or I wasn't feeling inspired. But this can be a problem. And as a mindset coach, I also recognize this. So I'm very self-aware of what I need to work on. And it's not the worst thing in the world. I'm not beating myself up about it. But when you say that you're going to do something and you don't do it, you are losing confidence in yourself. And self-confidence is one of the most important things. And if you can't even trust your own word to yourself, how do you expect other people to trust you? How do you expect the universe? And how do you have trust in other people if what you're saying is just meaningless? This can be on a much grander scale, and when I'm just telling myself I'm gonna create a video later and I don't, it might not seem like a lot, but I really want to be mindful with my words. In the Four Agreements, I think it's that book, the author talks about being impeccable with your word and know that your words are powerful, your words are spells, and they really can influence your life. And we say things just very flippantly and in passing, but the subconscious is listening to that. So if you're constantly breaking trust with yourself, I don't think that is great. And I'm really trying to work on this for myself. I get the jobs done in my business that have to be done. My client calls, my client protocols, emails, my one-to-one clients are number one. But with extra things like content creation or just coming up with new ideas, that gets put on the back burner because there's only so much I can do. I'm only human at the end of the day, and it does fluctuate around my menstrual cycle as well. I am way more productive and on it in the first half of my cycle, the follicular and ovulation phase. But then as I'm approaching my period, on my menstrual cycle, I can just use it as an excuse sometimes. And I think that I am working with my hormones, which I am, but there's a fine line where sometimes you are just being a bit lazy and need to kick up the bum. I just want to check, are you addressing the healing foundations? Not sure what I mean. Well, these are the important factors that I believe that you need to address in order to be in optimal health and overcome your stubborn health issues and symptoms, whether that's chronic digestive issues, acne, hair loss, period problems, weight gain, anxiety, fatigue. I could go on. Because I want as many of you as possible to have this life-changing information, I've bundled together 6 of my juiciest and info-packed masterclasses priced at just £111. Not only are you getting these recordings, which are between 60 and 90 minutes long each, on the following subjects: the power of the subconscious mind, stress, trauma, and the nervous system, supporting your female menstrual cycle, mastering your metabolism, optimizing sleep, gut health and detox. You're also going to receive my healthy groceries shopping list and my favorite non-toxic products guide, which are both usually reserved for my one-to-one clients. Whether you're brand new to the holistic healing world or you've been trying to work on things for a while but feel stuck, I can guarantee there's something within this content that will help you to understand your next steps and what you're missing. Sometimes it's something so foundational that's being overlooked. Get instant access to the Foundations bundle today for just £111 by clicking the link in the episode show notes, and I can't wait to hear about what you've learned. Grab your pen and paper to make notes and get started today. Next ones are on food. With my diet now, the only strict thing that I have is gluten-free, because that makes the biggest difference for me, and I have done testing multiple times that shows quite a strong gluten intolerance. And just to protect myself from autoimmune conditions, which run on both sides of my family, I choose to remain gluten-free because that is strongly correlated with immune system problems. And I want to keep my gut nice and healthy with all of the work that I've done on it. All the money that I spent on my gut healing over the years, I don't want to start to interfere with that with just gluten, because I've been gluten-free since I was 18, so it is very easy for me now. Eating out in this day and age is quite easy too. But when I eat out, it depends. Sometimes I actually want to eat a healthy meal. I want a nice piece of fish, I want a nice steak and salad, but there are other times where I want a big, juicy, gluten-free burger with bacon and cheese on there and sweet potato fries with garlic mayo. But there's also some little rules around this, and I've had comments before on social media where I've said if I have some popcorn at the cinema or some gluten-free fries, I will make sure I strength train that day, or I go for a little walk afterwards, or I'll take some blood sugar support at the same time, apple cider vinegar beforehand to help my body. And people have commented that is so disordered, you shouldn't be promoting that, just enjoy the food, enjoy the carbs. But I know my body. I know that my body needs extra support sometimes with blood sugar regulation, and that amount of carbs in one sitting for me, if I'm just then sat down at the cinema or restaurant, it's just not gonna be used properly, and that can promote inflammation in my body. There's just facts there for me. But I very rarely would get the big burger and fries meal and also have a dessert or also have a drink that has sugar in. So I will pick and choose. If you want to call this disordered, that's absolutely fine. I really don't care. But I can now be at this place in my health journey, in my life, where a burger and fries once a week, as long as it's gluten-free, is accepted by my body. But the rest of the day, I'm just back eating my regular foods. I don't cut calories the rest of the day. I don't go super low carb the other meals. I just make sure I'm on my routine and don't let that one meal then influence or sabotage the rest of it. This is what I used to do back when I was early 20s late teens, trying to lose weight and diet, I would be super strict, but then I would be so hungry and starved of nutrients because I've been over exercising and dieting all day that at 10 o'clock at night, all I wanted was 3 bowls of oatmeal, granola, peanut butter, dark chocolate, healthy foods, but just in excess at the wrong time. And I would then think, okay, I'll start tomorrow, I'll get back on it. And it's this, I'll start on Monday diet mentality that is not healthy. So I will order, yeah, burger and fries is a pretty common one. It could be something that is gluten-free but deep fried, some onion rings as a starter, but I'll always choose an option that has protein in. I'm not just going to order a big bowl of gluten-free pasta, like mushroom tagliatelle with no protein in there. Always has to have protein and some vegetables if possible. But the seed oils in there, if it's deep fried, if it has refined sugar, I really don't care these days because I feel okay afterwards. My energy's good, I'm not having a huge crash, I'm not bloated afterwards. My body can handle it, so I will continue to listen to that. If there comes a time where me doing this isn't serving me anymore, I will be the first one to pull back. But for now, because the whole of the week I'm adding good stuff into my body. If you think of it as a bank account, the more deposits you put in, this is me drinking my water and electrolytes throughout the day, eating my high protein breakfast and meals at home, eating organic vegetables. This is me day to day putting in deposits into the bank account of health. And then that means when I go on holiday or when it's my birthday and I want some gluten-free cake, or I'm at the restaurant, they have an amazing cheesecake that's gluten-free. That's my go-to dessert if I'm having one. I am more savoury than sweet, but cheesecake, if it's on there and it's a gluten-free place, then I'm having it. I can then withdraw from this bank account because there's a lot of reserves in there. There's been a lot of deposits made, so I can then pull from that and I'm not going into the negatives. But if you keep just pull, and asking all of this from your body, but you're not putting anything good in, that's when you end up going into debt, into bankruptcy, and into poor health. Food-wise, another thing is that people might be surprised, but I don't eat organic everything. I eat a lot of organic food. I have some things from a supermarket like Sainsbury's. They have a small range of organic at the one that I go to, but really not a lot. It's usually just broccoli and what else do they have? Cucumber and mushrooms. They have organic of that, but I like variety with my veg. This was one thing that me having health issues and food sensitivities blessed me with, was that I really expanded out of my comfort zone and got used to a range of foods. Before it was just that I'd have broccoli and peas on rotation every day, but when I started to become sensitive to a lot of foods, to try and expand my diet so I had more to choose, I would have different types of meats. I would start eating organ meats and venison and different vegetables from the ethnic food stores, and that's something that I've stuck with. So with my food, I try to get as much organic as possible. Same with meats, some high quality meats, but not everything is organic because either I don't want to spend £500 a month on organic everything because I eat a lot of protein and a lot of meat, but also some things you just can't access. And there is a really lovely organic fruit and veg place near where I live. It's in Chorlton, in just outside of Manchester. I'll try and get there once a week, but some weeks I don't. And if I want asparagus and they don't have organic and I'm really in the mood for it, I'm gonna get the regular asparagus. I'll try and eat seasonally as much as possible, but not always. So if I want a pineapple on something in the middle of winter, it's not ideal for the food industry shipping it halfway across the world just for me to have a pineapple. But if it's in the store and yeah, I need it for a recipe, then I'm gonna have it. I'm not super strict. I'm conscious about the environment. I'm conscious about my plastic use, but also I just try to do the best I can. I'll recycle, I'll choose the local seasonal produce, but it means that I have to drive half an hour to this place to get the food. So don't judge me. Other thing with diet is that I will at home filter my water and do the best that I can with organic and not using seed oils. But when I'm out and about, if I'm at someone's house, if I am yeah, just out and I need water, I'm gonna buy a bottle of water. I'm gonna drink tap water at someone's house. At restaurants, sometimes I'll get bottled glass or mineral water, but sometimes I'll just have tap water. I'm just really chill about it. And if I was to stress myself out, that is going to be more harmful than me just having tap water. I think of the benefits of it. I'll bless the water, I'll infuse gratitude into it, so at least it's given me some health benefits. But me stressing about the pesticides and the toxins and the heavy metals in the water as I'm drinking it is just going to be a detriment to my health. So instead, I just think of how grateful I am to have running water and access to that in the moment, and I will just get back on with my routines as soon as I get home. If I'm traveling, I'll take some supplements, I'll take some snacks, but I also want to explore the local cultures, and I know that the real foundations of health are the basic things. Me swimming in the sea, getting my feet on the ground on a holiday, being with people that I love, being in the sun, eating local quality foods that have been made with love, and the fact that I don't have to wash up or prepare anything. I'm just so grateful for that. And you can maybe implement some of this into your life as well. When we're health conscious, I know we value it so much, and when you've lost your health, it's the only thing that you want, but we we can't be super strict with it all the time because it's just going to backfire. And you placing so much emphasis and trying to control it so much can just make you more anxious and more stressed than just relaxing a little bit. You don't have to drop all of your routines and habits. You can still have your boundaries and your standards, but being a little bit flexible for me in the later stages of my healing journey actually catapulted my health even further than if I would have tried to stay super strict forever with everything, because I just wasn't living my life. I was just in this bubble. And yes, my symptoms were managed, but I just wasn't able to even enjoy the improvements that I had. That should be the goal. Last few lifestyle things now, in terms of non-toxic living and environmental toxins, all of that stuff. I do use 95% clean beauty products. I found some really good makeup products, so I'll just give you a little rundown. My foundation powder that I use is a mineral powder from Tropic, really love that one. I use the Ilia mascara. I use a Weleda lip balm and the Ilia lip balms and lipsticks. That's basically all I use. But my eyebrow pencil is from Anastasia Brow, which is just a classic makeup brand. And I use regular deodorant in the summer. So right now I am using the Mitchum High Strength deodorant, which is probably full of fragrance and aluminium. And I completely know that. I'm aware of that. I don't spend my day stressing about it. But in summer, the natural deodorants that I tried do not work for me. And I have tried them all. If there's any new ones from the past couple of years that you really do think work, I've tried the sprays, the creams, the roll-ons, the mineral sticks. I've tried using, what is it, the glycolic acid toner under the arms, bentonite clay armpit masks, and I just don't feel comfortable or confident when I have big wet patches under my arms or I smell like sweat because it's 30 degrees, like it is right now of recording this. So in summer, I'm using the regular deodorants, I'm sorry. But in winter, or on days that I'm just chilling at home and it's not that hot, I'll wear the natural deodorants. But yeah, they can stain your clothes yellow, they can cause irritation to your armpits if they've got ingredients like bicarb or baking soda in there. So yeah, I wear regular deodorant, but the rest of my shower gels, shampoos, any moisturizers that I might use, skincare, all of that is non-toxic. So I am balancing out my exposure, not being perfect with it, but I'm finding the swaps. I've tried them but there's sometimes things that you can get away with because the rest of the products that you use are non-toxic. It's not like everything I'm using is toxic, because I could make my home environment as clean and organic as possible, but as soon as I leave the house, I'm exposed to pollutants, and if I go into the city, fumes and all of these things. So I do the best that I can, but don't aim for perfection because it doesn't exist. In terms of clothing, I love fashion. I love expressing myself through clothing. I love to just be comfortable, but because I've always loved clothes and my mum's the same. But for those years that I was really chronically ill and overweight, I've been underweight as well, but I was so unconfident with my appearance, my skin, my hair, my weight. I just wanted to hide away. And that was really difficult, even for the food side of things. I love food, such a foodie. So I couldn't eat at restaurants for the longest time. So now it is such a blessing, and I get so happy and excited about it when I go out to eat at a restaurant and I can order pretty much whatever I want, or I can go into the shops and find something that I would have 5 years ago, 10 years ago, loved to have worn, but would have never done so because it either didn't fit me right or I just felt really uncomfortable in my skin. So now I love my fashion, and I am a conscious consumer in the fact that I'm not ordering from these really cheap websites and just spending unnecessary amounts of money on those. I really like quality and I take care of my things, but I also have quite quite a few things that I love to collect. And I've got clothes from when I was a teenager and I'll still wear them sometimes. But now that I feel good and confident, and couple of years ago, I started to change my style a little bit, and I got on Pinterest and I found the aesthetic that I was going for. And when you're changing your identity and wanting to step into a new version of yourself, your higher self, your clothes can really hold a lot of memories. So because I had health issues for a good 5 to 10 years, a lot of the clothes that I was wearing were reminding me of that period of time. So I did a big purge. I've moved a couple of times in the last few years as well, so those were always good moments to release and start fresh. But you can also start fresh at any time. And I now, if I see something out and I like it and I'm thinking about it and it's a definite full body yes, I'm gonna get it. And I will even wear workout clothes. People might be surprised, but I've never claimed to only wear eco-friendly, non-toxic materials. I'm not that concerned about that, to be honest. I'm more concerned of what I'm eating. Yes, toxins can be absorbed through the skin, but if you are drinking unfiltered water and you have mold in your home and your gut is a mess, but you're wearing organic linen trousers, like, to me it's not going to make that much of a difference. So it would be the cherry on top of the cake. And I do have some clothes from really lovely brands, but some things are from H&M. I love Zara. My activewear are from Adanola or Tala, and they make me feel really good. I love having a cute cord set going on, and it makes me be more productive in the gym. It makes me show up better in work, but it's not completely organic, natural materials, unfortunately. There's probably some hormone disruptors and polyester in there, and so it so it is. I don't have any symptoms. If I had eczema or some sort of skin condition that I was reacting to the clothes, maybe I would change them, but I feel good and I like to look good, and that's just me. So you'll see me in H&M or you'll see me in a lovely yoga organic brand sometimes, but it's more so the high street fashion along with some really good quality pieces that I'm going to have for a long time. And very last one is that sometimes I consume lower frequency content. That might be listening to rap music. I love R&B music. I love rap music. I also love country music, and some of those can be quite sad sometimes. A lot of music, when you actually listen to the lyrics, a lot of them aren't great, but I just love music. And some of the songs, like rap music from the 2000s, I just really enjoy them. And in terms of TV, I don't watch a lot of TV in general. I more so just have YouTube on there and watch YouTube. But I've recently started watching Love is Blind. I've watched a few seasons of those and just really enjoy it. I like the human like interaction dynamic and just learning about other people's lives and the perspectives that they have and just the dating journey. That's really fun. I see it as a bit of research as well, but it's pretty trash TV. There's arguments, there's fights, and I don't watch things like Love Island. They're probably very similar to be fair, but I'm more selective about what I watch. But I also don't watch just documentaries and listen to health podcasts all the time. I'll just listen to some fun, chatty girl podcasts every now and then. So the majority of the time, the content that I had is very inspiring and uplifting. But sometimes I just want a bit of brain rot, so I'll scroll on TikTok. I'll watch Live is Blind or I'll listen to some Jay-Z. The other week, I did a podcast episode on mainstream health advice that I don't follow. That's episode 272 because there were a few other things that could have made this list, but I personally don't think that they're unhealthy. So other people might think that they're unhealthy. I agree with everything that I've said today is pretty unhealthy and not supportive to health. But in the other episode, were the fact that I said that I don't wear sunscreen every day, I love to lay out in the sun, I eat a lot of eggs, red meat, and salt. I actually don't think that's unhealthy for me, so that's why it didn't make today's list, and that's why there's a whole other episode if you want to listen to more of those things that are just common health recommendations that I personally don't abide by. That'll be linked in the episode show notes. I really found this episode to be fun. If you love this, if you love hearing a little bit more about my approach and my life, then let me know and I can do some deeper dives into certain areas. Or if you've got any requests for episodes, anything you want to know, I'm an open book and I will share. But I hope you enjoyed this episode and I will see you back here next week for another one.